I started learning Russian in January of 2021. It was always a lifelong dream of mine to learn Russian and to visit Russia. Finally, during the pandemic, I was given a proper amount of time to effectively study the language. I started my studies with the Real Russian Club, hosted by Daria Malkanova. Her approach with beginners is very sensible and comfortable, especially her Zero to Fluency course. I highly recommend her videos, her YouTube channel, and her website. In addition to that, I also use Duolingo, which is a fun app. I'm currently on an 1100-day streak. I also use films, songs, podcasts, basically anything I can get my hands on to expand my vocabulary and comfortability in the language. So you may be asking, why Russian? If you would permit me 30 seconds or 1 minute, I can briefly explain why I'm learning the Russian language.
Рабочая крестьянская революция, о необходимости которой все время говорили большевики, совершилась!
Да здравствует наша славная Родина, ее свобода, ее независимость. Под знаменем Ленина вперед!
Поехали!
С Новым годом! С новым счастьем! Дорогие товарищи!
Russian is a global language, one of the 5 main languages of the United Nations. Russia is rich with culture, great writers, amazing composers, and a rich history from the days of Rurik and Romanov, Lenin and Yuri Gagarin, up till the modern day. Russia is a wealth of interesting stories, as well as interesting characters. But you still may be asking, why am I learning Russian? To get that answer, we have to go back to 2008. Once upon a time, there was an amazing game called Roblox. Roblox is an immersive world-building and 3D modeling game. Today it is very game-oriented as well as trading-oriented. When I first joined, all the way back in 2008, it was more oriented towards clans and guilds, very community-based. So when I joined in 2008, I immediately fell into this aspect of the game. At the time of joining Roblox, I was also getting more enthusiastic about studying world history, in particular the history of Russia. Returning to Roblox, I fell in with a group called the Republic. The group is based on a futuristic United States. As I continued playing, I and a few other members of the Republic thought that their leader was a bit of a fool, and we decided to rebel a few times. I myself decided to join a group called the Vaktovian Empire, who was the mortal enemy of the Republic. I rose as a high-ranking captain in the Empire and led epic battles against my former allies in the Republic. Political intrigue and conquest dominated my days on Roblox. Eventually, I decided to found my own group called The Order. Together with hundreds of members, we fought epic battles against the Republic, the Vaktovian Empire, and the United Robloxian Federation of Clans. As you can see, the clans and guilds aspect was quite immersive. It was so much fun that I practically lived off of Roblox and Russian history for most of my high school years. After I graduated in 2014, I stopped playing Roblox, but the stories which were made on that game inspired me to write a series of books. The series is called Stars of the Allmaker, the events of which are partially inspired from stories which took place on Roblox, as well as Russian history and world building of my own. I developed the universe and the lore with my lore developer, Griffin, and I'm also getting illustrations made for the novel with my friend, Adrian. As I began writing my series in 2015, I embarked on a diploma in television and video production. Upon graduation in 2017, I also finished the first draft of my first book. I also had a desire to visit Russia at this time, but I was also just getting my career in the film industry started. So I decided to set my Russian ambitions aside for the moment and try my hand at the local film industry, both behind and in front of the camera. I also cosplayed various characters, in particular Kylo Ren, volunteering with the 501st Legion at various events. Once the pandemic hit, my ambitions to visit Russia were definitely put on hold, but my skills as a writer exceeded tenfold. It wasn't until December 2020 January 2021 that I finally decided to start learning Russian. I knew that it wouldn't be long until COVID restrictions were lifted and I could finally experience Russia, and I wanted to be as prepared as possible to do so. So that was a little bit about myself. In the next video, I will be discussing my initial experience learning the Russian language as well as getting my TEFL certification. Thank you for watching. Пока-пока.